today, and now you feel fat today also. You're welcome. And now there's a podcast.
Welcome to I Feel Fat Today. I'm your host, Kelly Taylor. Thank you so much for joining. I know last week I said that we weren't going to do a video intro, and I said, but fear not, next week we'll be back with a video intro. And here we are, and I don't have one for you. It's going to be a real quick intro before we get into it with our guest. Sorry, I just ran up the stairs from letting him out, and I am out of breath. But yeah, so I had some scheduling mishaps this week. So I had to record this week's episode the day before it's supposed to be out. So you might actually be hearing this a little bit later than normal. I try to get these out Friday morning, and I don't think this one's going to be out till the afternoon. But regardless, still going to be out on Friday, just a little bit later. So maybe you can listen to this on the second half of your day or during your commute home, whatever the case may be. But anyways, you know the drill. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. I Feel Fat Today. Follow me, your host. Hello, this is Kelly. And leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It would mean a lot to me if you like this episode. Leave a review for it. Interact on YouTube. Subscribe. And yeah. All right. We're going to get into it with my guest. Awesome conversation about just a lifelong saga of dieting, being in active addiction, coming out of it, and the wonderful, beautiful life he has now as he gets through all that. Very funny guy, really great comedian. So excited for you guys to listen to this episode. Please welcome my guest, Daniel J. Perafan. Well, yeah, I sent you some stuff to look over before the pod.
Yes.
And I was so excited by your enthusiasm.
Yeah, no, I was totally completely oh my God, this is something I'd love to talk about. I haven't talked about it in years, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, how old were you when you had the concept of wanting to lose weight, needing to lose weight?
Oh my God.
When did that start?
I've always, since it almost became part of who I was, I think. If that isn't me now, but
Right.
I want to believe that now I've at least gotten over that somehow. But the concept of one steady weight or one steady body type has eluded me my entire life.
Yeah. Oh,
Never.
I so relate to that.
Yeah. It's it's so imagine just if you could just thinking about just staying one shirt size the same way, up or down, whichever way.
Yeah. Just consistency.
Yeah.
And I've always lacked consistency in my life, with everything.
Yes.
The only thing I've been consistent with truly has been comedy. Of I did an open mic.
Same. Yeah.
And then I just never stopped.
'Cause I just knew I wanted to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But never a diet.
No, never.
Never anything. I mean, the most consistent thing next to that I've been doing is there's this workout class called Bar.
Okay.
Pure
What is that?
Bar. It's like Pilates, and I've been good about going at least twice a week for the past 6 weeks.
Oh, nice.
And it's weird. I have to talk about it with my therapist because I'm I don't know why this is sticking. I don't know. By now I would have quit, and I think it's because
Why?
I'm not doing it in the name of weight loss.
Oh, you're just doing it for fun?
I'm just doing it because I enjoy the movement.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, but never in my life have I been able to stick to a proper regimen.
And just kind of flow with it or whatever?
No.
Wow.
No. So tell me, oh gosh darn it, Finn. So tell me.
Oh, someone is asserting himself.
Is the puking gonna start? Okay. So yes. Your whole life. You've always
Yes,
felt.
definitely since since as long as I can remember. I think 5, 6, 7, 8, or like
Same.
that early on. You
Yeah.
know, even if like looking at back now at old pictures, like it was just American Husky. And like if I was a kid now and that and that like that overweight as a kid, everyone you'd fit right in normally.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like because I came of age in definitely the time where like. If there's body positivity now, it was like body negativity.
Yeah.
You know, like there was no like if you were like a pound overweight, you were fat.
Yeah.
You know, you're
No,
like, what is
totally.
this? Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
Jackson Heights, Queens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To my mom, who just, for she just a mom, just delightful, but like just like my grandma, just bowls of food, like
Yeah.
mountains of it, as
Yeah.
if to say like she knew nothing else but how to cook well, and just so this is what she's gonna do it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
her craft.
Right.
So she would make these bowls of food, thousands of calories,
Yeah.
and just show. While we would beg her for less food, and she
Right.
would be like, "No, eat it, you're gonna die."
I
Like
know.
that. She was so worried.
Especially because it is such a blessing to like
Definitely.
have
Yeah.
that like
yeah.
that form of love that way.
Yes.
Totally. But
Yes.
it's like you look back and then would it be your mom or your grandma that was remarking about your huskiness?
Both. They would both. Also, they would feed us, overfeed us,
Yeah.
and then also remark on your weight.
Always.
It would be both the things.
Tale as old as
They were
time.
like, look, you have to eat 10,000 calories, but also find a way to not gain even one pound.
Yeah, no, totally.
Good luck with that. I
Yeah.
don't know. Wait, you also can't leave the house. You're stuck here today, and this is it.
Oh, so I guess maybe because you grew up in Queens, they didn't want you leaving. They didn't what was the
No,
deal
like
with
we
not
still went to the
leaving house?
park and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it was just like I distinctly remember throughout my entire life, just bowls of rice, like bowls of food, just large. Like looking back, I'm like that was a lot of food.
Yeah, what's
That was not-
What's your heritage?
A Colombian. It's Colombian.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's like
forget it.
in general, Hispanic people very
Yeah.
like just food, but. Even then, like it had nothing. I think less to do with that, more to do with her upbringing. Part of it was she was really good at cooking, and I think that was her niche with her family, and it was the only thing she knew how to do particularly well.
Yeah.
So she really doubled down on it, even more so than like someone of that environment. Because I've
Right.
been in their circles back in Colombia, and it's not the same level of like. Where the hell did my mom get this from? Like, this is not necessarily a family thing. This is something distinct to her.
Right. I mean, it's a way to stand out. I
Definitely.
mean,
Yeah,
and to,
yeah.
and to be the one that can cook
Yeah.
at, a professional level.
Yes, she was like, definitely
Yeah.
Mr. Calling somewhere. There was like,
Yeah.
she could have been a great chef for
Right.
like a big restaurant somewhere,
Right.
making thousands of bowls of food for people.
Was she involved in church at all?
Not really.
Or, like,
yes,
community to,
no,
make food for
no,
them?
never. But whenever,
Just you.
yeah. Whenever people came over, even now, like she'll overfeed them. She'll be like, "Here, shove." Like I saw some old pictures from like just I think 3 years ago with Kim. I invited her over to my mom's house the first time, and I took I took pictures of her eating the bowl of food she ate and the aftermath of Kim like laying down on the couch with a hand in her stomach, like the pain in her eyes. I'm like, oh yeah.
No.
I was looking at like this. You poor girl.
Yeah.
You're just feeling a little bit of it. This
Yeah,
is not.
yeah. You have no idea.
You have no idea what it's. Let's stretch out your stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well-
also could have just gone professional. I should have become a professional eater. I think.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I should have gone all the
Yeah.
way. I was lazy, so it's my
yeah,
own fault.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You couldn't stick to it.
Fucked up.
So when did diet start? Because dieting wasn't happening at home.
No, it wasn't there. But also, it was being reinforced constantly. So it was a weird mix of eat a lot of food, don't gain weight, eat less food,
Yeah.
but eat all this food. So we had soup, lentils. Like some of the diets changed from rice to lentils and soup. Some of the different foods we ate. but it was always somehow placed on me to blame. Like I was to blame for like wanting all this rice, so let's just keep feeding him rice, which is, it's possible. I might have been a little fucking asshole kid and been like, give me rice.
Right.
Scrape. I remember my whole life just going in there, scraping the bowl of rice to the very bottom and just fucking eating it up now.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. Even now thinking about it, it was great rice.
Damn. So do you think you just ate a ton of it because it was there and it was delicious, or do you think it was like maybe as a kid you didn't even know that you were having some kind of anxiety and you were eating?
That's also possible too.
think?
Like just, not to like look back on it too hard. It's not like we had shitty childhoods too. So there was like bowls of rice. There was a lot of like, because of, we had just no money. There was a lot of stress there.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on. I mean, I won't go into too much detail, but like,
Go into whatever detail you are comfortable
No,
with.
just like one of our cousins is a chomo.
Okay.
Do you know what a chomo is?
I have an idea of a chomo.
It's what you think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So he's a chomo, and like he just he did what he did, like
Right.
he was going pro at it.
Right.
His own daughter, us, like it was just like little things like that. And then like I had a lot of anxiety. Like my dad wasn't really in my life, but like there were a lot of things I was doing that looking back, I'm like, oh, that was my anxiety. And I
Yeah.
didn't know how to healthily think. My mom was beating the crap out of us. She didn't know what to do with her pain. It's like generational trauma.
Totally.
Like everything was compact. She needed some help.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I still have empathy for her. I'm not like angry at her. I'm just like, yo, you just needed a little bit of like love and support yourself.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know you didn't get it, so you fucking shove at that's one benefit or whatever way you see it to having kids is you can take all your pain out on these two living creatures. And not go to jail, but you
Not go to jail because guess what? There's food.
Yeah,
You're providing the food.
Yeah,
so everything else is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everything else is a pass, and this is just what you do. I'm a stressed out single mom.
Yeah.
So I'm,
If you beat a dog in this country, you will go to jail. You beat your kids, and people will applaud you on. I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's so weird because generationally it always changes. Like, I don't feel like we're too far apart. I'm a millennial.
Okay, yeah, I'm a millennial.
Are you millennial?
Yeah.
Millennials got hit.
Gen Z, millennial, of course. What?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess technically I'm a cusper. I don't know. But
where are you? Are you like Irish or? Like,
yeah, I'm Irish and Polish
nice,
from New Jersey.
Okay, yeah.
And so like millennials, we got hit. I mean, I feel like maybe some, but like but then millennials and Gen X didn't hit their kids. So it's like, so it's like now it's like you would never hit a kid.
No.
Will it swing? I don't know.
Swing back the other
Will
way?
it swing?
Yeah,
Who
especially with
knows?
the red wave or
I
whatever.
know, right, right.
So maybe they're going to go
not
back
at all
to
a
it.
mirage.
No.
It's very much
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's maybe, and don't hit your kids. We're not advocating.
We're not
for that.
advocating unless he's like being really annoying.
Yeah, unless
then,
he like called you like a bitch.
or like if you want to or whatever. We're not. Yeah. Who are we to tell you what to do?
So, do you have a sibling?
Yes, I have a twin sister.
You have a twin?
I have a twin sister.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so we experienced a lot of things together, and like my father was a bit of a slut, and so I have like 6 half siblings. They're still
okay.
siblings. I still consider them,
Yeah. But like grew up in the home.
No, they grew up. Yeah, they grew up in the home. Was my twin sister and I.
Yeah.
My grandma, my mom, my cousin.
Okay.
And various pets over the years.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in poverty, there's always going to be pets.
Yeah, it's so weird.
You'll never not be a pet.
I don't get it.
Where there's poverty, there are pets.
Yeah, you're just like, just get them in here. We need more things to love.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Another mouth to feed.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
But it's like they give you a sense of fulfillment and joy that you're
I know.
like, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I told like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. No. Absolutely. So did your sister ever, and not to, this is about you, but I'm curious, like having a twin sibling, did they ever struggle with their weight at all, or
Not really.
they have
So that's
consistency?
interesting. Yeah, they
Oh,
had
gosh,
more
I'm in this-
consistency.
I don't have a twin. I have my older brother.
At
but
worst,
he's
husky.
Never. Yeah, at worst, husky.
Yeah, at worst. But
Yeah.
like even then, she stayed. But I think she has social pressure. So she's a girl.
Right.
So she has
little different.
always thought about or like forced upon her. No one's ever outside of like schoolish, like schoolboy taunts
Right,
or
right,
like
right.
being teased or whatever.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, like we grew up in like the body negative kind of society.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
especially for a girl.
Yeah.
I mean, you looked at, I remember when Jessica Simpson was looked at as being like a disgusting pig.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
it's like, of course. But so early on, we got some generational trauma happening in the house. Endless,
fucked up shit.
lot of fucked up shit. A lot
Poor.
of chaos, which
Yeah.
will always make a young body that
We were
doesn't know
also
what's going
food
on.
insecure at times. So like even though there was a lot of food, there was very little. Like it was very scary to like think about when the next meal was coming.
Right.
So it's kind of weird in these regards. We're like, oh fuck, like oh boy.
Yeah, food insecurity will cause
Yeah, it's weird because you're like, yeah,
a
sorry.
binge
Yeah, it's so odd.
thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where you potentially don't know when the next meal is coming.
Yeah,
So,
seriously.
And so, did the food insecurity, was that present a lot?
Yes, but only that early on. Yes, it wasn't. But then, ironically, like that, when it's the earliest time is when it affects you probably the most because you're most
Totally.
like
Yeah.
biggest influential part of your life.
Foundation.
Yeah,
Literally.
If it happened now, I'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I'll find a way to get a
like-
meal, I guess.
Yeah, you can, and especially as an adult, you can always figure out how to rub two nickels together to,
Yeah.
to put together a meal.
Yeah.
But as a child, you can't.
Yeah, you're just
absolutely
like
cannot.
you're fucked, and that's
Yeah.
it. You are fucked. There's
Yeah.
just no way around it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so that was early.
yeah.
And then what did life look like after you got out of high school? Because after high school, you kind of have more of a sense of self and more of your own direction of like what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to do.
Definitely confused about who I was. I was always in a mode, or people really, even the people around me, they felt like I could. That I was almost their pet project at times.
Oh,
Of
okay.
like, we're gonna help him lose weight.
Whoa.
I can't tell you how many times or how many people have kind of been that person for me or tried to be that person
Like
for me.
the show Made.
I'm not too familiar.
It was an MTV show where it's like,
really? Yeah.
made into like a football star, into a prom queen.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Yeah, and they'd go through like, weeks of like, becoming a figure skater or whatever it is.
Oh,
But-
sick. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, sorry. You had people like who were these people?
It affected. I mean, just different people I picked up over my life. Like some people, like people I looked up to, or people always encouraged me to lose weight. My cousins, my aunts, everyone. So there's always push from family, always push from some friends.
Yeah.
Always push, both positive and negative pushes. There was always a sense of like, even junior high. I remember going to my mom, not understanding the value of money. Even then, like, I knew I didn't have any of it. I wanted to go to
Sorry.
camp.
Ben, knock it off.
I wanted to go to camp for a weight loss camp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, weight loss camp.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you ever go?
No,
It's expensive.
too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never went either.
Like looking back,
But
I'm
I
like,
would've.
I shouldn't have asked. Yeah, if I
But
could
if
afford
I had
it.
gone, I would have been like the trauma of sending me to a weight loss.
Yeah.
Like there would have been no winning.
Why'd you send me there?
No, literally.
I probably would have molested some more. You know, there's just like
Oh,
more.
yeah,
like,
or is the
yeah,
forced molestation
it's all the
at play
time.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
that's
gonna
what-
believe a little fat kid? Nobody. Yeah. Titty twisters and shit. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, yeah. So just people in your life wanting to,
Yes.
transform you.
Yeah. That definitely happened a lot. I didn't really know who I was, especially in that time. I kind of knew I wanted to be a comedian. But that's all the only headwind I had. But I never had the guts to go for it. So at that
Totally.
point, I hadn't gone guts to go for it. It wasn't until I was like 23 or something that I went for it. I was just like, fuck, I'm turning 23. I got to go for it now, or it's do or die.
Yeah.
I should have gone when I was 18 or 16. By the time I was 18, I was thinking, fuck, I'm already 18. Chappelle did it at 16.
Yeah.
That's too late for me.
Yeah.
I would say these things to myself.
Totally.
Yeah.
Limiting beliefs.
Yes. And so like the reason I bring that up is just because it's who my weight physically and just emotionally, the two intersections of, and career-wise of comedy, like these intersections of who I am, they all sort of weave in between each other. Where like the more you think you know yourself, the more stable you can be. But it's like there's different avenues of life that come at you, especially in different phases. So like in my early 20s, I was drinking a lot. And looking back, I wasn't even that bad. But it's slowly and surely over time, I had started to pick up more and more weight. Especially like just I hadn't lost it. I felt unattractive to people. Like I felt unattractive. I've had different like romantic encounters somehow. But like, you know, like I sort of stumbled. Every romantic encounter, even Kim, like my current girlfriend, sort of stumbled into it. Like
What do you mean?
I don't know. It just sort of happened. You don't really. Me, the person, did very little to get.
Okay.
It just sort of like clicked on its own.
Right.
I did. Like just to give you it's like a weird thing, but like so Kim and I were like on a train ride home, and we were from a sketch, so we just happened to be talking and everything, and she messaged me the next day.
Ooh.
To ask me something or another, and then
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" So like she initiated everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because you didn't have the confidence
No.
to be the person to.
Or even the understanding. I'm like, she's hitting on you. Like, I would have been like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, like if you had realized it, you would have messed it up.
Maybe. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's like it's almost like dumb luck. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah. You ever seen those like thing in cartoons where a guy spitting a gun?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
understand how dangerous it
Yeah,
is,
right,
but
right.
it's not until he stops. You're like, hey, you could die. He's like, oh my god. Like
Right.
just that's when you're like, same thing.
Yeah, totally.
Like spitting a gun, you're not knowing how dangerous it is until, because love is dangerous.
It is
But-
so dangerous. I've gained and lost a lot of weight because of love.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
So you know, like
Oh,
just the
come on. This is my whole. Yeah.
yes,
Totally.
yeah. This whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So, early 20s drinking, and then it kind of became so.
More and more it ballooned up. So I'd peaked out about 3:30.
Okay, it was.
And I
the
remember being
highest.
3:30, and I think it was 20 in my 20s that I had peaked up, and I wanted to lose the weight for various reasons. It was 3:30, and I think I must have been like 80% body weight, like it was not muscle at all.
Right.
Which like
Unhealthy.
no, it was definitely like I was gonna die. I was walking
Yeah.
around with a cane. There was
You had a
like
cane?
I had a cane.
You were a cane guy.
I was a cane
in
guy.
Your 20s.
Yeah. So it was a different. Most of the time it was sprains though because I had a cane. But like there was almost the reason the sprain happens because I was carrying so much weight.
Right.
And very little muscle.
Yeah.
Although the calves somehow, when you're like a big fat guy, the most muscular part of your body is these massive calves, just godlike calves. For some reason, just you can knock down a door
Yeah.
calves. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
like,
I know exactly what you're
just
talking
like
about.
firefighter,
Yeah.
bah,
Right.
calves. Yeah.
Useless, kind of, because
Yeah.
of everything else.
Yeah.
but Still.
But like
brawling.
and each like there have been iterations of attempts throughout the years of trying to lose weight. So every so often, every year maybe or less than that, I'd given it a shot. I'd gone to the gym. I've tried and failed, tried and failed. And for whatever reason, this one time had stuck. And I remember distinctly. There's actually a comic I don't talk to anymore right now, even now, like after all this time, because I had started off unhealthy. I remember talking to one comic and another comic about this, my plan. I remember telling them my plan distinctly. I said, I'm going to eat nothing but egg whites. Egg whites the whole way through. And then they were like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
There's no way that'll work.
Right.
And it did.
Yeah.
It fucking worked.
It'll work.
It'll work. Stability will
It's
be
not sustainable.
No, on completely not. But like, my God, I'd gotten down to 140 from 330
330.
in a year.
Damn, a whole person in
Oh
a
my-
year.
In a year.
Pre-Ozempic.
Oh, pre-Ozempic. It was a lot of gym time,
Yeah.
a lot of weight loss, and it was. First of all, to be 140 is, I mean, obviously don't do it. It's bad for you. my God, do you feel great?
Yeah.
You just are, but then so it was something, a lot of things happened to me that I wasn't prepared for. On the way down from the 330 with the egg whites, my chest was hurting a lot. Because I was born with some kind of heart condition.
Okay.
Yeah, where I have an extra pathway of nerves. So they've recently fixed it. But at that point, it had not been fixed. So it was an extra pathway of nerves. So my heart goes really fast. It would go like 300 beats a minute, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So it would go really fast. It can cause technically cardiac arrest.
Right.
I had, for whatever reason, had not died from this, very fortunately enough. Yeah. So just to give you the short and curlies. So I was going my way down. It was causing a lot of like discomfort. And I thought, like, I need to eat something, but I don't want to put on any weight. I need to maintain. So the first couple days, I remember losing 10 pounds almost overnight.
Right.
Because you're that weight, your body's giving up weight easy because you're such a large weight.
Yep.
So I started drinking vodka. I started drinking vodka to ease the pain and give me some sugar, and it worked. Reader, it worked. It worked.
So were you not drinking during the egg white phase?
No, I was
when you were on the road from 330 to 140,
Yes.
was alcohol happening?
No, this was the beginning of the phase was with entirely with alcohol.
Okay,
because I
egg white
couldn't
and
do
vodka
it.
diet.
Yes, I couldn't do it just egg whites.
Yes.
So I started lubricating, if you will,
Right.
with the vodka, and it worked. It was fantastic. It cured a lot of my ailments. You know, it's a muscle relaxer. It does all these things.
Totally.
It's a pain number.
Yeah.
But then I was fucked up all the time.
I'm sure.
It was I've always had also an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. So this is one of those side effects. But then it was like you think, whoa, there's no way this crazy plan's going to work. It fucking worked.
Right.
It worked like crazy. But I was gone all the time. I was wasted.
You'll be pickled.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. It was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. I got demoted at work. I was drunk at work. I was fucked up in the head. I had mental instability. There was a lot of things wrong with me at the time.
Yeah, you could go into like a psychosis.
Yeah, I was. I was drinking and drinking and drinking. But my God, once I hit something had happened. So it's almost like there is a story about Magellan, of how he was going through the rough seas, and he had hit this, I forgot, this patch of sea that was like super harsh, and it was freezing cold. And the second he broke through, it was Pacific waters all the way.
Yeah.
I'd hit a certain stride. I kept going, and I hit the clear waters.
Yeah, you made it through the break.
I made it through the break.
Yeah.
I had gotten down to 200 something pounds, over like 100 pounds, 130.
Yeah.
But at that point, chubby. And everyone's still, you know what they say to you when you go from 330 to 200? Keep it up. Oh well, keep it up, buddy.
You're like, I'm on death's door.
Yeah.
I'm
fucked up. I was having sex with people, like hooking up with randos, because it was the first time it had ever been really available to me like that.
Available to do it, and it's a lot easier to do that when you're wasted.
Yeah, and you're more, you're a little more confident, and you're like
a lot more confident.
Yeah.
When you are in a skinny body after struggling with your weight so much,
Yes.
after being fat, and now
Yes.
you're skinny.
Yes.
It is that in and of itself is a drug
Yeah.
paired with the drug of alcohol.
Yes.
Oh man. Come on. I mean, it's just
Yes.
it's a recipe for just this it is a thing. It's called new body behavior.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you go from like looking one way to another in a good way.
Yeah.
New body behavior.
Nice.
Yeah. So you were experiencing some of that, and you were wasted.
Yeah, all the time. And I'd gotten down to like 140 through my tricks of barely eating. I remember one distinct memory I had was my friend telling me that the banana I had was like 35 calories, and I remember like dry heaving of like, I don't want to eat that.
Right.
35 calories. Another time, my cousin told me, like joking, my mom said I was fat when I was like super skinny, and I was like, what do you mean I'm fat?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like I was going like that. Like I was
Right.
just too. It was
Fully
became
freaking out.
because if you really want something, you have to make it your obsession.
Totally.
Obsession. It was before therapy. I didn't have any therapy.
Yeah.
I hadn't spoken to any mental health professional or every single one that I had. I was unstable. It was not good. It was a bad time. It was the bad times.
And this was a year.
This was over the course of a year, destroying countless relationships, destroying but it was. I looked great. I mean, it was. I don't advise it to anybody. I do not advise you to do this. But you look fantastic.
Right.
But something happened because I had lost the weight so fast. I didn't know that I was thin.
Right, your brain couldn't catch up.
It couldn't catch up.
Mm-hmm.
It was just too, because you went from 330 to 140, and that was peak bottom, 140. I remember hitting the scale, and I still was like, well, a few more pounds. Maybe I could still get a little skinnier than this.
Right.
And I remember hitting scale, I was 140, and I was just like, I was chewing and spitting a lot.
Oh, that's an eating disorder.
Yeah, that's
chew and spit is a full-on eating disorder.
Oh, my God. But I would have these, someone I lost, one of the friends I lost was we'd go out to dinner all the time, and they would kind of make fun of me for being so anorexic. So I would chew and spit when I was with them. I'd go to the movie theaters, eat tons of popcorn, and then just take a napkin and put it in a little bag. They knew I was doing it.
It's hard to hide.
It's hard to hide. They knew I was doing it. I would be at parties with other comics, and I would chew and I'd spit it in my cup and I'd throw it out. Yeah. But a few people saw me do that.
It's so thankless when you are in the throes of an eating disorder like that. The addiction is telling you that no one can see you, but you know people can see you, you don't give a fuck.
No.
You're like, I'm not gonna get fat.
But yeah, it's also how the sauce is made.
Yeah.
It's how the sauce is made. And I think people seeing someone go through eating disorder, they kind of go well, I mean,
I know.
There's a reason he's that thin.
Right.
Yeah, so they kind of get it too. Not that it's not a good thing.
No, people do get it because I think even if you've never been fat, you know that it's hard to be fat.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people get it.
Yeah. They kind of turn a blind eye to it for that.
Yeah.
It's do whatever you can, buddy.
Yeah. And a lot of people have really unhealthy coping mechanisms when it relates to weight, but it's just a very silent thing. And for some of us, it's very overt and in your face.
Yes.
People see you chewing and spitting, people hearing you throwing up, people see you not eat at all. Whereas with other people, they can maybe be a little bit more closeted about it. And so I think and also when you see your friend engaging in a destructive behavior, you're not going to have an intervention right now and be like, don't do that.
Yeah, we're at a party. Yeah,
we're at a party. Honestly, what we were saying before about the newer generation might, because they have therapy terms just in natural conversation where they might be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But very taboo.
Yeah.
It's very, very taboo.
Yeah.
Okay, so 140 was the plateau, shall we say?
Yeah.
A year or so of destructive behavior. What comes up must come down and vice versa. So how did the weight start creeping back up?
It was slowly but surely. I think I remember starting to eat again. I was like, okay, well, I have to start eating. I forgot what triggered it exactly, but it was I have to start eating again. I started eating slowly, and I remember looking at my hand at work, and you could see bones here.
Yeah.
So, but then I was like, as long as I can still see my bones, it's fine. And then the pants started increasing and slowly got to a point where I was husky.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I need to start working out again. And I was just so tired because I wanted to get to a bottom point so I didn't have to work out anymore.
I know, but that's not how it works.
It's not how it works at all.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to, but I needed the psychological part of it.
Yeah.
The part where not understanding that part that I needed really bad.
Yeah.
So then I pick up, I'm midway there. I'm husky in the middle, little chubby fat.
I love your descriptors.
Yeah,
husky,
chubby fat. Yeah. Now I'm slob. So there's different, there's different mental. Yeah. Yeah, now I'm slob. So there's different levels to it.
Totally.
So I was working out, and I started drinking again. This time I picked up a bad one. It was one of those bad, a really bad one.
Rough stint.
Yeah, ruined. It was whatever life I had left, gone. I lost my job.
Oh, burned
I
to the
lost
ground.
my apartment. I was homeless for a while.
Wow.
Yeah. I had to move back in with my mom. It was definitely the bad times. I was hospitalized countless times.
because of alcohol.
Alcoholism. Yeah.
Overdosing or trying to withdraw, like trying
Both.
to, yeah.
Both. I was in and out of like detox, in and out, like in and out. I went to rehab. I relapsed. It was like a lot of that.
And you were going to like not fancy expensive places, like the
No, I went to city detoxes.
yeah, like the
Those
city
are like,
ones, the ones that don't cost money. Like,
oh my God.
Like that, it's like a scare straight program for
Yeah,
some people.
yeah. If you,
Not
oh
for
my
you.
God, no. It was the first time I went. I was like, I'm never coming back here. And like the third time, I'm like, hey, you're like, oh, what's up, fellas?
Ricky, Ricky,
Yeah.
here you are.
You become okay, so the first time I had gone to detox, not to derail this, but like
No.
it all ties together for a reason.
It all comes
It
together.
does. The first time I got a detox, I remember this kid, he could have been older than like 20. And he was there. He was out because he had hair on issues, and like, so he was like shaking out on the bed. He's like, yo, this place sucks. He was telling me like bitching.
Yeah.
We were both like the younger guys there. There was a fight. The first day there was a fight that broke out between two guys. It was my first experience of like
Yeah.
detox ever. And it just two street guys just fucking battling it out, and they kicked one of the guys out.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh fuck. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to. This is so scary. I don't want to be back here. I'm done. Because not only are you dealing physically, you're dealing with it emotionally too.
Yeah.
So there's all shit is just crashing down on you. You're hitting bottom, not knowing. I didn't know that I had so much more bottom left.
Totally.
There was like just thinking like, this
Yeah.
is it. This is my life is good after
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Because they could fix you physically, but they couldn't fix me emotionally.
Right.
Only,
they can get you straight, but
yes.
they can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can't fix the gears on the inside.
Totally.
That part needed years of emotional rehabilitation, which I would find years from then. So I lost my job, everything, in and out detox, rehab, relapse, everything, all that. That within itself is like a fucking horrible nightmare of a time. Real bad times. But then the pandemic happened, and I was struggling with alcoholism even past then. I had gotten to the point where I was going to die, for sure. There was no ifs and or buts. I was hospitalized like multiple times. The nurses were telling me like, my readings and my levels were too high. There just was no way anyone looking at me would have told you dead.
Yeah.
Like even looking at pictures of me from back then, it was like dead. There was just no, you lost everything. I was spitting up blood because
Yeah.
my esophagus had gotten torn from all the booze. I was drinking like a gallon of vodka a day.
Yeah, you could have cirrhosis of the liver. Like you.
Yeah,
were,
yeah. No, I was very fortunate.
Yeah.
Just very fortunate. I made it back. But I think that I kept trying, but something that kept, and this is, if there is a testament to persistence, obviously a faith in God that I would reach out to, pray to God every day. Like, please cure me of this. Please,
Yeah.
begging God. Begging. Like, I had lost all standing and stand-up.
Yeah.
I had lost, like, all these people that respect, well, whatever.
It's all relative.
Relative amounts of respect. Like gone. It
Yeah.
was just
Friends,
gone.
gone.
Blackout, drunk in the creek in the cave.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just gone. Whatever little I
Yeah.
had, gone. And nobody wanted to, like, anyone, I'm telling you for a fact, they would have said I would have been dead.
Right.
And they would have been right, I think. But the pandemic happened. I persisted to say, I remember keep trying to persist no matter what, even at the bottom level, I just kept trying. If there's any testament to anything I have to say, is if you keep trying, so long as you don't give up,
So long as you
even
don't
at
give
the
up.
worst possible like figure it can be, and it can get really bad, even if it gets worse, so long as you keep trying to put yourself out of something, it actually can happen. Like, however little statistical possibility that is, it can happen. Because I remember kept trying and I kept failing. I kept trying to stay sober it would stay sober for 1 hour. And I would say, well, next I'm going to stay sober for 2 hours. And then 2 hours would hit, and sometimes I'd relapse. And then sometimes I'd push all the way to 9 hours, and then 12 hours, and then like almost the whole day sober. But I didn't know I needed the psychological parts fixed yet.
Right.
So almost a whole day, and I'd relapse, and I kept trying. I remember that period of I just wanted to die.
Yeah.
I begged for death, begged for it, even though I kept trying. I was conflicting emotions. I was depressed because of the booze. It was a gallon of vodka. I was known in all the bars. Like, people stopped serving me. There was like, I was cut off by multiple places. I couldn't go drink anymore. And
You literally lost everything.
everything. I was on my mom's floor. I would cry, break down crying. And even my family got tired of me.
Of course.
Yeah. And then the pandemic happened. So I don't know what it was, but like, I was like, it was almost like you kind of rock something back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And the pandemic had given it that last little, after all it was that mixed with the persistence.
Right.
The last just little push.
Yeah.
And suddenly it was a day sober, and then 2 days, and then 3 days, and then a week, and then 2 weeks. And I wasn't announcing it because I'd announced it before, and it
That's
failed.
the key.
And I just kept it to myself.
You gotta keep it to
I just
yourself.
kept trying and trying, and I swear to God, it stuck. And I was so happy to be off the booze. It was a miracle within itself. If I believe there is a God, but like I know it was a dark time for a lot of people, but for me it was the start of the new person that I was, a more understanding person. And another part of it was I had tried therapy too. And it was right after that. It was like 2021, I think, that I tried therapy. Like 2020 was like the year of like coming back from this. Like I finally hit bottom. This was it. This was do or die, literally do or die. And I done. So I started thinking, like, think of all the things that have not worked. And you've heard your whole life, try therapy, and I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, what else? I'm at death's door. Why the fuck not? Fuck it.
I mean, for you to find therapy, like, given your background, that in and of itself is a miracle.
It was very hard.
Like a Colombian family in poverty.
Yeah.
From the East Coast.
Yeah, my mom fucking calls it gay.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I don't know if you know this, but you're gay.
Yeah.
Like,
You talking about
literally.
your feelings?
Yeah.
I tell her to fucking go to the thing. She's like, "What? You look fucking cry like a bitch." Like, she
Yeah.
would say that. Like,
Right.
tough. So I did it, and it was the last little bit. That little bit. It's like it's like a screw loose. It's just something. And then from there, I got on some anxiety medication, and from there, I had definitely like talked more about stability. I was letting out a lot of my emotions, even though it was a very toxic environment. Like that was in like you're on your mom's floor. I was on her floor for years. I was on her floor, like after I lost everything.
Yeah.
And so it was very like I needed that. It's the help that I got. And it was good. It was good rebuilding. Kim, I met her. So this was all like throughout the pandemic and that time I was just trying to like, there was not like much to do in sobriety, and something that a lot of guys do is they start working out. So at that time, I started going to the gym every day because there was nothing to do. So I started lifting weights. I got fucking jacked, but only top half. Only like I done all the machines, and in between the machines, I would do push-ups.
Right.
So I was doing like all my stress push-ups. Like in between, I do legs, I do push-ups. I do this, I do push-ups, and I got like I got pecs.
Wow.
For the first time, but it was also loose skin. So on top of the loose skin, like,
right.
And I had this huge belly. It was not like, it's not like that went away or anything.
Right.
Yeah. So I still had the huge belly, and I had the thing. And I had gotten these big ass arms, and it was like a fat guy that's jacked a little. You can, you're
I'm
like
thinking Kevin
construction
James.
worker. Yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah. So it's all in there.
Where?
And then, but you can but it felt good to be able to do that.
Totally.
Yeah, and
I mean the stress relief alone.
Yeah, and it felt good, and it felt like I was rebuilding myself, sort of. And I think that's the time I met Kim, and it was good for her too. She was like, you fucking date a guy that's like bigger than you, and I.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
like a little lady.
she liked it. She's like, oh my god, and then so like, yeah, and it was like it sucked, but it was like that part of myself was healing. It was like coming back, And then comedy-wise, I had a lot of good things happen. And it's just like, it only kept going up. And this relationship is good even now. But what happened was I was still working out pretty strongly, and then I kind of stopped because it's like so time-consuming.
Right.
I injured my back here. I was picking up a heavy weight, and I remember going like this, and it was like, and I hurt it. And it never really healed right since then.
Yeah. I mean, the older you get, it's hard.
Yeah.
You've been tough on your body.
Yeah, it's survived a lot. So
it really has.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the old girl. Seen a few wars, you know. So
what is it? The unsinkable from the Titanic. The unsinkable Molly.
What?
I can't think of it. Damn it. Oh man, it'll come to me after.
Okay. All right.
Man. Kathy Bates played her in the Titanic. The unsinkable Molly. Whatever. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, and that's like with anything, like you go through phases of it being the thing that you're doing. You got injured from working out, but I mean, so just to clarify, you've been sober since?
Yeah. I don't touch stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Stay away from it.
I mean, that is so incredible to be in the depths of hell.
Yeah. That was
And
the worst
just
time of my life.
To now be able to look back and like, what is
awful.
it, 4 or 5 years at this point?
It's been fucking, yeah.
That's huge.
March 2020 really was the last.
Yeah, March 2020. You needed like the world to shut down.
Yeah,
you needed a reset.
Yeah. All my friends were like drinking heavy, and I was just
God,
going the other way. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah. Man.
Worst. Oh God. Looking back, I'm like, ugh.
The pandemic.
God, one time I came home drunk and just I couldn't make the bathroom, or I thought maybe I was in the bathroom and just pissed all over my mom's couch.
Yeah.
And then just pissed. And I forgot what lie I made up, but it was like virtually see-through. I was like, oh, it was the cat. Like,
no.
Just huge amounts of piss all over.
like 6 cats worth of piss.
Yeah. Oh God. There's nothing like waking up with ambulance people over you. That's funny. That's a fun time. It was like I figured that's how death happens, like how death is.
Right.
Because I was walking down the street once, twice this happened. Walking down the street, took a chug, blackout, wake up, either people around me or like wake up like I'm like a stupor, like on the floor. So it's like that must be how death happens, just kind of walking along
and then it's lights out.
Lights out. And whatever happens after that is whatever happens after that.
Yeah, and that's crazy that you would be like cogent, drunk albeit, but cogent, and then all of a sudden the blackout just hits you.
Yeah, like
no
blackout.
brown out.
No brown out.
Black.
No, just gone.
Yeah.
Whatever cohesion mentally is gone.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. It's like time traveling.
Yeah. And then just slowly but surely I've been domesticated. I went back to college. I got my degree. And then I've been stress eating, like the thing. That fucking sucked. I put on a ton of weight.
Wait, so when did college happen? After COVID and when you were sober?
No, sober, muscles, Kim. We started kind of cohabitating slowly.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, I don't really know when we officially moved in. I haven't paid rent ever, so. So it's like we fell in love over time, and then just slowly and surely we started doing less and less. You know, when you're in a couple,
I know
you like stay on a couch, and it's like bonding time.
Yeah,
I'm bonding with this person.
We're nesting.
Yeah, but she has a healthy relationship with food, or at least healthier than me.
How is it living with someone that has a healthy?
A lot of, I wouldn't say nagging, but a lot of like. Does that make sense? You know,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, for the
Kim,
people.
if you're watching this, I love you. Anyway, so for the people, it was like a lot. I went because nagging is such a toxic word, but just
no, I know, but
you get what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying, but how do you feel about the let's just call it what it is, the nagging? Like that is something. Nagging drives me into the bottom of a chip bag. Like
Yeah.
if you want to nag me,
Yeah.
I will throw it in your face with how much I'm willing to eat. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just this like defiant part of me that like is being self-destructive, but it's also like kind of protecting myself.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to listen to your fucking rules or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I mean, how do you just? What is your relationship with food like now?
It was a lot of so gone back to college, and then I just graduated like a few weeks ago.
Congratulations! That's
Oh my
so
God.
awesome.
Oh my God. So we're looking at grad school now, and then
Wow.
I enrolled in grad school. Technically, I'm supposed to start on Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll see that. We'll see how that goes.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So you got a
Economics.
oh wow.
Economics degree.
Wow.
And so like it was just stressful. My first time back in a while.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was a lot.
Stress is a trigger.
You slowly start to like. I would be in class drinking soda,
Yeah.
eating chips, and you're like cool, and then not understanding or not caring,
Right.
and I definitely ballooned up since then. So the thing I've learned most was, especially in the rehab, was some people at a genetic level are more impulsive than others.
Right.
So which can technically be a good thing, depending on what you pour it into, sort of. So someone that's impulsive, it should have been a genetic trait. If I'm remembering the lesson I learned like years ago, no, it's lost. It should have been a genetic trait that should have been wiped out already because it's so destructive. But it's also a winning trait because every so often you do win when you're
Yeah.
impulsive. The medication has helped me with the impulsivity a lot,
Right.
but it's still there especially when it comes to emotional eating.
Yeah.
It's so hard to overcome that one. Even with like the therapy and the advanced like thing, something I found. So we kind of fast forwarded to almost present day, and I did put on a lot of weight, and Kim did not fucking like it at all. I stopped working out. I got fucking slob. I'm like slob fat now, and it's been pretty. And then part of it, I want to blame her a little bit because she is. I wouldn't say make me stay home, but she's definitely offered me an outlet to going out. When before you walk around the city, you
Right.
fucking party, or like you're walking around, you're doing stuff.
Sedentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. When you're
Yeah.
the second, and it feels so good
I know.
to be with a second person doing nothing. You watch fucking TV we would rot out watching
Yeah.
like movies all day.
Yeah.
It feels good to do nothing all day. So then she introduced me again, like I fought her tooth and nail for the entire year. We were tracking calories we were eating. We want to stay under a certain number.
Okay.
And I didn't really do it that well for a better part of a year. This was like second year of college. And so now she got me on Weight Watchers.
Oh, you're on your
Weight Watchers.
WW.
Yes. But I'm already down like 13 pounds in the first like month.
Okay.
So I will give it. I feel more comfortable with this. Something about it, I can't explain it. It feels better because I'm still eating. I'm just not
Totally.
binging out.
Yeah.
I think that was a big problem too.
Totally. I mean, and the Weight Watchers is good because it's taking this idea of calories in, calories out, which for some reason can be a very overwhelming concept.
It's so hard. It's
really,
weird.
But really, when you just look at it like a bank, like, okay,
Yeah.
I have X amount of
I'm
dollars. to
spending
spend.
this.
Well, I'm in debt. But like the point system does give you it's a more digestible way to look at calories in
Yeah.
and staying within that bank.
Yeah.
Do you find you are satiated? Are you full when following points?
I am more stable with it.
Okay.
So going back to the impulse thing.
Yeah.
Technically, no. But if I can find a way to funnel this excess energy or this excess thing, in some of the classes, there's something called HALT.
Yes.
So one of the
I know
reasons
halt.
you either drink or you vice
Yes.
hungry, angry, lazy,
tired.
And that is true.
Yeah.
Is like the problem with some of the stuff I've learned is that it's actually very true. Like some of the stuff I've learned in therapy, some of the stuff I've learned in counseling, and the different groups I've been in over the years, and especially with the booze and all that
Yeah.
stuff, they make great points. They are actually right, but they sound so fucking corny.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, as an adult man, you're like, fuck, how? What are you
Right,
talking about? Yeah.
right.
And then you sit back and you're kind of like, oh, fuck, I am hungry.
Yeah.
I am. There's a void missing.
Totally.
I'm just trying to fill it. I need to sit in the impulse for a second and just breathe and like,
Right.
that does help a lot. It requires a lot of mental energy.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And it's like, why does this feel so easy to other people?
Yeah.
And for you, it's like every brain cell is going into thinking about this.
Yes.
Do you feel at all triggered when you think back at who you were, and maybe not because you are a completely different person from then, but that guy that was afraid of a 35-calorie banana? Are you worried about that sort of like toxic thinking coming into like this new, Weight Watchers diet that you're trying?
Yes. Admittedly, it's something I have thought about to a degree. But I also can't be overcome. I guess I can't be overrun with what can happen. I should focus on what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I also understand that I've had more therapy since then. I'm
Right.
a lot more emotionally stable, a lot more mentally stable. I have a second when you have a partner is also good because you have another person being like, "Hey, don't do that."
Support.
Yeah. There's like she's offered me a lot of support, not the least of which is financial. She's pretty much bankrolled everything I've done the last like 5 years. So
I need to get me a Kim.
yeah. Yeah, you find if you can get someone out there to bankroll your lifestyle, might I recommend it? So,
Life hack.
Yeah, life hack. So definitely she's been there a lot. So she's
Yeah.
also seen a lot of it too. So we were dating and we broke up because of the booze. She was one of the first like things. And then after the pandemic, when I had gotten sober, we had met up again at a party. Brittany Carwell's party.
Oh,
So
big
because
fan
of that,
Brittany.
so because of that, she was leaving, I was coming in.
Uh-huh.
We just exchanged numbers again, and then it's so effective.
Wow. And she probably was so happy to see you in such a better place.
Yeah, definitely. She was
You
definitely
know?
like, yeah. We had talked about that, and I mentioned I'm sober and stuff. She liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You're like,
she
hey,
also liked it that it
sober
wasn't
now.
for her.
Totally. I mean,
She didn't want that.
you can't.
No.
Because if you don't have her for whatever reason
Yeah,
in the
it's
future,
gonna go back to
God
it.
forbid.
Yes. Yes.
The thing you got
Agreed.
sober for is no
It's
longer
gone.
here.
Yeah,
so what's
yeah.
the fucking point?
It's not the same thing. When you do it for yourself, it's better.
You have to do it for yourself.
Yeah. They also said that you can't. So you have to take the same rules that you learned for booze, just with food. The difficulty is you can't just stop eating.
Yes.
So it's you have to learn nuance with food,
Yeah.
which is so hard.
Yeah.
But I want to believe if I keep persisting, like with anything else, I will achieve this. I just can't give up.
Right.
But also, I want to be able to just eat an amount and not go to the gym also. Or go intermittently, not obsessed with that.
Well, I'll tell you this. I feel like that diet culture has us believing that like going to the gym is necessary
Yeah.
for weight loss.
Yeah.
You get abs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if you're somebody that is like working out a lot more, a lot of people work out and then they go to Chick-fil-A and then
Yes.
they go to Chipotle.
Yeah, and you justify it. Yeah.
And you justify it. And then all of a sudden you worked out and you burned 200 calories in your workout. And
eat
you're
2,000.
And yes, and you're eating 1,000. So, working out doesn't necessarily need to be a part of your life in order for you to like be in a body that you want to be in. But there's so much unlearning that has to happen in order for you to get there.
Yes.
But you're working on it. I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that you in the last 4 years have gotten sober, gotten a degree, gonna continue on with your education, have gotten back into comedy in a big, big way.
Yeah.
Like you have the social circles back. Like you have
Oh, and then some. Yeah.
yeah. And the girlfriend, no longer at mom's house. Like, you really are building yourself up and doing it. So this is just another thing for you to conquer.
Yes. Let's see if like in a year I'll be 140 again or something.
So are you obsessed with the number? Are you like, do you want to get down to a specific
I don't know.
scale?
I really don't know. I don't know how far I want to take it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just take it one day at a time there, because
Totally.
I am starting to obsess slowly over the number.
Yeah.
Because it's quantifiable.
Right.
It's very easy to be like, just the other day I caught myself being like, well, if I poop, I could lose another pound.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. That's a
Not
red
good.
flag.
And I'll tell you why it's really not good, because it becomes so unstable.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to not really try to do things in the name of weight loss. Like, you have to want to eat better and stick to this like new Weight Watchers plan because of the other benefits of doing that.
Yeah.
And losing weight is like an added side effect.
Yes.
It's hard to adopt that mentality though.
Yeah.
It's
Also, like, you could still have a sandwich, which I like.
yeah.
I like a sandwich.
Right.
So I don't have to. I never knew that cheese was as caloric as
Yeah.
I would have cheese by the brick. I don't think. I didn't know that.
You also have a cheese addiction. You
Yeah.
have a dairy addiction.
Yeah. It
on top
was-
of it all.
Fuck! That's gonna be harder to kick than the booze. I think.
Because I mean,
It's so good.
and no, like,
God, cheese.
I mean,
Fucking
I
cheese.
guess if you do eat a
Do you-
block of cheese in front of people, maybe it is a little, but
Yeah, but it's like sneak eating.
Yeah.
I don't want to sneak eat. I don't want to like.
I know.
Just like I used to sneak drink. A vice is a vice. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's food or booze or
Yeah.
anything. Like, if you're sneaking around doing it, it's
I mean,
a problem.
food was the first thing I ever consumed in private.
Private, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like that weird. Like, you're like, hey, that's how you know it's like kind of a problem, because you don't want other people to see you do it.
Right.
And it's not like you don't feel comfortable with your partner seeing you do it.
Yeah. Putting the wrappers to the bottom of the trash can.
Oh my fucking god! Do that. That's smart. I didn't think of that. I don't want to chew and spit. I'm having.
No, don't.
It's
do
the.
that.
I have one
You'll fuck
marshmallow.
up your jaw.
Yeah, I have one marshmallow. I'm having like one
Right.
sandwich.
That's the thing. You can't. You
like one.
can't. I know.
Breathe afterwards. Like,
yeah.
it's okay.
Mindful about it.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
enjoy
why?
it. Enjoy.
Mhm.
Since you're only having one, you might as well like really absorb it.
Yeah.
So fucking hard.
It's so hard. It's so hard. But if you can get through what you've gone through, you can do this.
Yes.
And it's okay.
I want to believe I can.
Diets and like having this healthy perspective on food doesn't have to be the same thing as like falling off the wagon with drinking. It's it's not
Yeah.
the same.
No, it's two different things. Yes.
It's completely different. So you have to really forgive yourself. That was like
Yeah.
one of the biggest things. Like for me, like I had to stop beating myself up for mindlessly eating a thing of French fries when like I don't even remember eating it.
Also, like, I just want to get down to like maybe just European fat.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want to be European
you
fat.
want to be a UK large.
Yeah, or like even
Yeah.
South American large. You know,
Right.
like not necessarily like American fat.
Totally.
I want that. You're right. Fine. I'll give the haters this. There's an unhelp to it that I'll admit, but like also like shut up, haters. You know, like
Yeah.
But it's not like being bone skinny is just as bad too.
Totally.
Some of these guys like we all know like there's people online like even comics will like will shit on like fat people or whatever like, but they're like rail thin.
Yeah.
They have.
the opposite
You're
end.
just as bad.
Yeah, it's the opposite
Don't
end of the
fucking- yeah,
spectrum.
don't fucking like.
Yeah, and that's like literally on this show, like I have people in all different kinds of bodies and all different kinds of circumstances.
That's fucking great.
Because everybody, no matter what you look like, has some kind of weird relationship with
Yes.
the way that we look.
Oh God.
You know? Oh man. Would you ever, if you had like the resources, money wasn't an object, would you do Ozempic or something like that?
Well, I kind of went to the doctors to talk about that recently.
Uh-huh.
I have my reservation. My sister did the
One of them.
no Ozempic. She did the stomach one.
Oh, the
Yeah.
bypass whatever.
Yeah, I hesitate to do any of those. Ozempic too, because there's some kind of blindness to it, and it's costly. Besides that,
It's very costly. Like, yeah, cost aside.
I don't know. I heard the blindness side effects is a little creepy.
Oh, I didn't know blindness.
Yeah, there's some kind of side effect that has to do with like going blind.
That's awful.
Yeah, and then I guess I've done so much other things. I want to be able to find the nuance here because I'm gonna need to find it.
Yeah.
What am I gonna be on Ozempic for the rest of my life?
I know.
What am I gonna fucking like need the stomach surgery for? If you do the stomach surgery, you're gonna need nutrients and vitamins. You needed you have another issue altogether.
I don't know. I feel like you scroll TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There will be. You could find on TikTok some. Shut up. Alexa, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean to you, robot. You're great.
They're gonna come after you.
I know. I try not to be nasty to my robots, but
I'm nice to AI also.
Totally. I always say thank you to ChatGPT. Always.
That's so weird. Just in case.
Just in case.
Me.
They're my homie. No. Yeah. I came across this one lady online that got the stomach surgery to lose weight and became a violent alcoholic.
Because the impulse. It's the impulse.
Yeah.
You have to heal it.
Addiction transfer.
Yes. It's the same shit. It's the same
Yeah.
gene that causes that.
Yeah.
And if you I need to find. I've been putting into online stuff. I've been posting them more, so that helps a little bit. Or like the art.
Yes,
like just
art.
put it there. I can put it there.
Yeah.
But then, it's like anything else.
Yeah.
Nothing's easy. I need to find a way to do it on my own. Because if I can't do it alone by myself, then what's the point?
Totally. Absolutely. Ugh, man. I had one more question for you, and I just lost it.
Straight, but it comes as a shock to a lot of people. Heterosexual.
Hetero.
Sorry, fellas.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's okay. Yeah. Well, this was awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I remember my question.
Do tell.
Are you doing WW online, or do you have the option
I have the
to go
app.
to the meetings?
Oh my God, there's the meetings?
There's meetings.
I just have the app.
Okay, so you might have the online version, but Weight Watchers originally was before online.
Oh yeah, it was the food too, right?
It was to
There's
go
like food and meetings.
Meetings. It's AA for food.
They
literally.
have that. It's Overeaters Anonymous too.
There is Overeaters Anonymous, yes, but Weight Watchers literally was a place where you could go. First time I ever went, I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
With my mom and my grandma.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did it feel good?
No. It was weird.
Really?
Yeah. And I of course went as an adult as well to like these Weight Watchers meetings. And I remember as an adult I had this realization of like sitting around at these meetings where these primarily women, there'd be like one guy out of like 30 women.
Yeah.
And they would sit and they would, talk about dieting and how they are and how like they've lost, 50 pounds and they want to keep it off and just the trials and tribulations of dieting. And I looked at my one girlfriend that I was with and we were like, they're talking about food the way like addicts talk about alcohol. Like it's the same thing. Like it's crazy the way that they were
It's what gives you the happy juice in your brain.
Right. So I was curious if you were going to the
No, but I don't mind going. The AA, OA, all of them, NA, whatever they are, they actually can work.
No, they totally can.
They can help you stay stable. They help a lot. It's just it goes back to the kind of like the corniness factor of it.
I know, yeah.
So you have to like have a little bit of an ego death. Forget that you're better. You think like you're prideful. You're like I'm better than this. You're like no, it helps. I should go.
Yeah.
It's like
release
almost.
Release it and then say the serenity prayer.
Yeah. It's on the take a breather and be like,
right.
I don't need to eat 2 sandwiches. I can just have one.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, Dan, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram on Daniel_J_Perafan. Come find me. I'm on there. I'm also on TikTok, but I forget my handle on there. Instagram's the bigger following. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of funny sketches, lots of funny stand-up clips over there.
Thank you.
You have a show that you run at Bridge
Yeah,
and Tunnel.
Bridge and Tunnel Brewery. It's every Sunday, usually 7:00. Come on out. Kelly's on there at the end of the month.
I am. I'm
Yeah.
excited. That'll be fun.
Is that soon? That's like in 2 weeks.
Right.
Or is it this Sunday?
It's this Sunday.
Oh, great.
Today's the 23rd.
Kelly's on this Sunday or whatever
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what.
This is coming out tomorrow.
Oh, great.
I'm
Oh,
gonna get
perfect.
right
Look at
to
that.
editing.
Oh,
which
hell
is-
yeah.
Yeah, and anywhere you can find Daniel will be in the description of the show. And until next week, I'll talk to you.
A lot of fun. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you.